Okay, you have the NFL Week 9 predictions. So filming this after the morning game, so I don't know all the results yet. But you have your first game, the Colts versus the Patriots. Patriots coming off a good win against the Jets, and the Colts are currently playing against Washington, and the Patriots, they have home field advantage here. And against the Jets, their defense played well. They forced Zach Wilson to throw 3 turnovers, and the Jets really couldn't get started versus them. Their offense could have been a little bit better. Mac Jones, right? But overall, I think Patriots home field advantage will be too much for the Colts, even though they do have Jonathan Taylor. But they're starting Sam Ellinger, which Bill Belichick really does well against quarterbacks. So or inexperienced quarterbacks. So I'm gonna take Patriots. Then you have the Jets versus the Bills. Bills play on Sunday night against the Packers, and the Jets coming off a loss against the Patriots. And with that, Brees Hall, the Jets offense could not get started. Zach Wilson could not throw, and their defense played well, but it won't be well enough to stop the Bills, who have the best offense and almost the best defense, and the and the and the Jets, they aren't on the Bills level yet. But this could very well trap for the Bills. Okay, then you have the Jacksonville versus the Raiders. Raiders coming off a big loss versus the Saints. They got shut down 24-0. While the Jazz come off a loss against the um, Broncos on the London game, and Jaguars against the Broncos. Their defense, when they matter most, could not get it going. And their offense, Jaguars offense, ETN had a great game, but Jaguars defense could not get it going. While the Raiders, their offense just could not get started versus the Saints. Their defense played okay, but the Raiders' offense just could not get started. However, um, Jaguars do have to travel overseas, and so do the Raiders. But I'm gonna take the Jaguars. So then you have the Chiefs versus the Titans. Titans going to play against the um, Titans play against the Houston, and Chiefs are coming off a bye. Chiefs have home field advantage and very explosive offense. Chiefs defense have been getting better these last couple of weeks. Not great though. The Titans, they do have Derrick Henry. Ryan Tannehill's not playing this week, but he should be back before this game. And the Titans defense overall is not great right now for the Titans. I'm gonna take the Chiefs. And you have a Thursday night, Houston versus the Eagles. Houston currently play against the Titans. Eagles come off another great performance versus the Steelers. And talent-wise, everything says the Eagles. However, this is a Thursday night, and Houston has home field advantage, so this one may be close. Definitely a trap for the Eagles, but I'm still taking the Eagles. Then you have the Bears versus the Dolphins. Dolphins come off a win versus the Lions, which was pretty much a shootout, and the Bears coming off a loss against the Cowboys. The Bears surprisingly had a had a good offensive performance versus the Cowboys, but the Bears defense, after trading away Robert Quinn, could not stop the Cowboys whatsoever. While the Dolphins, their offense played great. It was pretty much a shootout against Detroit. Dolphins defense in the first half didn't do great, but in the second half they allowed no points to the Lions. So I'm gonna take the Dolphins, but they are traveling on the road, so this one may be a trap game. But I'm gonna still take the Dolphins. Then you have the Bengals versus the Panthers. Bengals play on Monday night. Panthers uh choked versus the Eagles. They had a great touchdown near the end and they choked it away. Panthers have looked a lot better this uh, past 2 weeks, but they're still not on the Bengals level. I'm gonna take the Bengals. Then you have the Falcons versus the Chargers. Ooh, this one's gonna be interesting. Falcons are coming off a win against the Panthers. So it's definitely very close. The Falcons' offense played well. Their defense did not. And the Chargers are coming off a bye, but so far the defense has really they've been a really underwhelming team, and they had to travel on the road again. And this one, I'm gonna pick the upset. I'm gonna pick Falcons. Then you have the Saints versus the Ravens. Ravens come off a Thursday night against the Bucks. A Thursday win over the Bucks. Saints come off a win over the Raiders, where they shut out the Raiders. Saints defense played great. The offense played okay. The Ravens against the Buccaneers, their offense played okay, and their defense also played well. And this one's gonna be actually one of the better games. It is Monday night, and Saints do have the advantage, but I think the Baltimore Ravens are a more talented team, and I'm not sure how well Andy Down will do when he's forced to throw. So I'm gonna take the Ravens. Then you have the Lions versus the Packers. Lions come off a loss versus the Dolphins. Packers play on Sunday night against the Bills, and the Lions, their offense did well in the first half versus the Dolphins, but in the second half they collapsed, while their defense was just horrible throughout. Packers play on Sunday night, so I haven't seen them, but their team right now very underwhelming. They do have a decently good defense, but their offense has been really bad. And this one is a divisional game, so hard to predict, but I think the Lions are going to get the win. I'm going to pick the upset. Then you have the Vikings versus the Commanders. Commanders currently play against the Colts and the Vikings. A close win over the Cardinals, but in the end, the Vikings had a good game overall, and in the end, their defense really stepped up, sacked Murray near the end, intercepted him a couple of times, and I think this one's while the Commanders they've been kind of lackluster this season, so I'm gonna take the Vikings. We have the Cardinals versus the Seahawks. Seahawks currently play against the Giants, while the Cardinals lost the Vikings, and Cardinals they just could not seal the deal against the Vikings, and they were always in the game but just couldn't win the game. While the Seahawks play against the Giants, their offense has been great this season. Geno Smith has been great. Their defense not so much. The divisional games are hard to predict, but I'm gonna take the Seahawks. The Bucks versus the Rams, two very underwhelming teams. Rams currently play against the 49ers, while the Bucks coming off a loss against the Ravens, and both these teams are very underwhelming with deteriorating offensive line. Though the Bucks, I think, have a better defense than the Rams and can pressure Matthew Stafford. So I think them. So there you have it, my NFL Week 9 predictions.